Conrad, the old timer here, presenting a basic outline of a program that I'm going to be suggesting that will eliminate poverty and will also allow the treatment of people who are on drugs and so forth, drug treatment for people that are having that problem, and also the problem of homelessness. Now, I have a program that I've been in the process of putting together for years and years. First of all, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. And I went into the Navy when I was about 18 years old, and I was sent to a tropical country where I saw poverty, real poverty, for the first time. There were people living with just poles in the ground, with palm frond roofs and palm fronds on the floor. Everyone skin and bones, with very little to eat because they had hunted and eaten and whatever, all the food in the surrounding area, and were having conflict problems with people in areas further out. Anyway, the children all had big bellies, and an NGO nurse told me that it was probably infestations of worms. Anyway, there I observed kids up to the age of probably 14 years old with rags for clothes, girls with not enough rags to cover themselves. And ever since then, I have been obsessed with finding what was causing all that, all the suffering, all the destroyed lives, from diseases that could be cured, all the things that are ruining people's lives. I've been trying to get to the bottom of it. Now I'm going to present my solution to the problem. So the first thing I'm going to say is the foundation of my new program that I'm suggesting that will eliminate poverty and allow all the people of the United States to live dignified lives and not be categorized as inferior and so forth. Of course, all that won't be brought about, because I'm sure we'll still have lines of elites and so forth, and people who have very little education or none. I'm not going to be able to eliminate that. But here's my first part of the program that must be adhered to in the basic part, just as I lay it out. All right. The first thing to do is to create a sovereign wealth fund and make the Social Security program funds be the foundation of that sovereign wealth fund. Now, the second main point is how to collect other revenue for that sovereign wealth fund. In other words, I'm saying everyone works, pay in tax like everyone else, not a separate Social Security tax. And I'm saying that every entity, from personal income to major corporations' income, and I'm talking about gross income, not net, income by every entity that has an income in the United States, except only two that I haven't been able to eliminate, and they are community cemeteries and public hospitals. Everything else, no exception. No charitable organizations, None of that. Everything that has any income at all has to be gross income has to be collected from everyone. By this, what I'm suggesting, to use the present day Internal Revenue Service as the collection branch of the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Now, the second thing I'm saying, that the people who have an income over $100,000 a year can choose to be exempt from this program. The taxes has to be paid by them, but they don't have to take part in the requirement for work. And anyone above that amount that of income or wealth are automatically, unless they choose to, eliminated or taken out of that requirement for work. But everyone below that average in annual income will be required to work. And I'm suggesting that that work period in a person's life be from 18 to 45 years, with basically start with the 40-hour requirement week that we have now, with 2 paid weeks of vacation for every employee, no exception. And number one period is when this, as of this date, the 11th of March 2025, no employer, period, can pay any employee below the rate that they're paying right now today. So they won't use that to avoid some of these stipulations. Now, as far as who has to fulfill those work requirements, I'm saying anyone that is physically and mentally capable, except women who have children between birth or I would say the year of pregnancy up until the last child in the family is 14 years old. They won't be required to meet the work requirement, but they will receive what I'm about to say: a basic income, a BIG, for everyone, except those in the upper income classes that are not subjected to meeting the work requirements and so forth. They also will not be included in the basic income program. Now, other people above 18 will be students that can be certified semester by semester, year by year, of still attending a university. They will be, as long as they're in a college or university or any kind of training program, the time that they're in there, they will be exempt from the work requirements. So that's, and the basic income, some kind of panel or committee of the, hopefully the Congress of the United States or whatever, will decide that how much that basic income should be. And first, when they get the projected amount that's going to be collected on a yearly basis from that total income tax system that I'm suggesting, and right now, in my mind, I think 1% tax across the board on every kind of income except the two that I just reiterated will be enough. But of course, the panel or whoever has to have the basic facts on it looks like how much money will be collected that time to decide what the basic income will be. But that doesn't mean that all the fund is spent in 1 year. But first of all is to see how much it's going to take to meet the needs that I'm outlining and go from there. And of course, the sovereign wealth fund, the basic principle there is to invest the funds in order to make to increase the money in the fund constantly. Other than that, that's going to be deposited in there by the tax that I'm suggesting that has to be collected. Now, I hope I covered the work requirements, but this is just a basic talk I'm going through today, because I'm sure this is going to be called part 1, and soon I'll be making part 2, where I'll go into more details. Of course, I'm 90 years old and still not thinking maybe as good as younger people, and I'm not saying my program will be set in stone, but the basic part of it, the across the board collection of a tax on all income except the two little things that I myself have eliminated, and anything else that absolutely can be justified. But I do not want anything justified where loopholes can be taken advantage of. No loopholes by any entity, any individual, period. That must be adhered to make the program, how do you say, make it have value, mean something, in other words. Not something that a few people are allowed to escape from. That cannot happen. It has to be adhered to absolutely, and it will work. I know it will. Can eliminate poverty. Every individual can have that basic income that will allow them to live a life where they can meet all their needs and live without any kind of financial stress, period. Now, I don't want this to be picked apart and tossed aside, because this has to be done. Poverty has to be eliminated. Every individual has to be able to meet their needs, and comfortably at that, not just minimal. And everything, housing, water, food, whatever it comes, the needs of an individual, free time, all that has to be included. Now, I'm hoping that if you watch my video and care anything at all about what I'm suggesting, that you will subscribe, and also please spread the word, get other people to listen, and because this is going to take concerted effort on a community level. There have to be people that start like they do in Congress, people trying to talk the representatives and senators in backing their programs. We have to start on the community level and backing this program and making it go, making the people in our government accept it and put it into effect, so that everyone can live dignified lives without so much stress, disease, and all those terrible things that are having so much terrible consequences on our people today. This is Conrad, and I'll be doing part 2 shortly. Thank you.